like quitting school technically. This was in my 200 level. So finally, as I waited and prayed, they released the cutoff mark. I was like 0.2 points below the general cutoff. I knew that it's not going to be possible for me again to get admission that year. You know what it means for you to quit school and you're still staying in your father's house. I went through many emotional traumas, bashing from my parents. The Lord told me how useless I am. So my best friend died, and I was a fervent Christian then, that I was even asking God, like, what did I do? Like, but in my mind, I wasn't a dropout. I don't know who is watching this video right now, but I want to remind you that you are still the master of your fate, because whatever decision you make now, in the next 50 years, you will be the one to bear the consequences. I finished and graduated from secondary school in 2017. Same year, I wrote my WAEC and also wrote my JAMB. I was a science student and was among the top performing students in my class. So you can guess the course I would choose while applying for admission. Yeah, if you guessed medicine, then you are right. Maybe why I chose to study medicine and surgery was because my strengths were in biology and chemistry, and you know, then I was given the best student in biology in my set, so that boosted my morale. And another thing is that the hype on the course, and also I knew that it would please my mother if I would go for that course, so I picked it in my JAMB. And most importantly, I had no idea about other career paths in sciences, so it was only medicine that was just visible to me. So because of this, I applied to study medicine at the University of Nigeria Nsukka, and my JAMB score then was 286. And after writing their Post UTME and they released their list, my name was not among the admitted students. It didn't really pay me much that I did not gain admission on my first trial, mainly because people around me were also writing the exam up to 2 times or 3 times before they even gained admission. So I felt at ease with them, and when it really started to pain me and when I felt the pain so much was when I started seeing my classmates and even my best friend getting admission into the university. People that I even thought that I was far much better than them, they were getting admission into the university. So I was depressed. I felt like, God, what is going on? I was praying that even if they can offer me any course, that I was ready, because I can't imagine myself staying at home and my mates that I was even thinking that I was better than in class gaining admission. So I was now praying, God, any course. But unfortunately, I wasn't even given any other course. So that was how that year went. Immediately I found out that they have released their final list for that year, I started preparing immediately for my 2018 JAMB examination. I started preparing very early, and at first I didn't find the motivation to study. But what I really used as a motivation was everything that happens for a reason, and I found a reason that helped me to study more. And the reason was that maybe I failed 2017 JAMB just because God wanted me to score very high in 2018 JAMB and come out as one of the top 10 best. And you know the rewards of coming out as one of the top 10 best, especially the scholarship aspect of it. So I was boosted and I was motivated to study more. And when the results came out, I scored around 319, and it wasn't that bad, but for me it was bad because my dream then was to come out as the top 10 best. But unfortunately it did not happen. Then a crazy idea came to my mind, which was to change my school of application to a southwestern school, that is the Yoruba side of people. So I was now thinking, because I love exploring cultures and checking out on new people, their dishes and stuff like that, and I really wanted to see how the outside of the southeast looks like, because I am from the southeast of Nigeria, and Abia State to be precise, and I just wanted to check out how other people behave. So I now decided to school in the southwestern part of Nigeria. I was considering UI, I was thinking about OAU, but finally I decided to go with OAU because I think that UI, their calendar was very slow then, so I decided to go for OAU. So I wrote their Post UTME same year, applying for medicine. After writing their Post UTME, I was so confident that I'm gonna get admission into medicine at OAU. But after they released their medicine cutoff point, I was like 2 points below the cutoff. And the worst of it was that I wasn't among their catchment areas. So automatically I knew that I wouldn't be given admission. My disappointment and pain did not really come from the fact that I did not meet the cutoff for medicine, but the pain really came from seeing students that I had more scores than, like I scored way much higher than them in the aggregate. I saw them gaining admission just because I was not among the catchment areas. They got admissions before me, and I was then diverted to another department. When they released their list, I saw my name in the Department of Microbiology. I was going to decline the offer, but due to advice I got from my friends and some of my acquaintances, they told me to accept the course, that maybe after my first year, if I can have like first class, or maybe if I can finish with a strong second class upper, that I can change my course to medicine.
I got the advice from a madman.
So I took the advice and accepted the challenge. So after my first year at OAU, I finished with a strong second class upper. So I was so excited because I was now thinking that I can now change my course to medicine. So I met my course advisor and asked him what he thinks about it, so that he can help me to make inquiries so that I can know when to apply. But he came back and was telling me that, to be honest, that Emmanuel, this stuff is not possible, that he would tell me the truth, that it's not possible, that it doesn't even make sense for me to waste my money on it, that medicine are not even accepting any slots at the moment. I felt so bad about it that I even went into depression, because you can imagine studying a course that you don't even like, and you have already spent almost 2 years studying this course. I felt into depressions. Well, I felt so bad about myself. I was like, my dreams are not really coming to pass. All my plans, everything just shattered in just a minute. But what my course advisor said I should do then was to maybe finish from microbiology and then come back for my second degree in medicine, that it would be easier for me to get. But I wasn't satisfied. Other of my colleagues, my senior colleagues, told me to continue with the course, that eventually that I will fall in love with the course. But I tried my best to fall in love with the course, and the more I was trying to fall in love with the course, the more I hated it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in studying the course. In fact, it's a very good course. For some of you that are aspiring to study it, it's a good course. And if you know what you are doing, there are opportunities in it. The opportunities in microbiology are very, very vast. But it didn't just come for me. I didn't really just find it comfortable studying. I tried to fall in love with it. It didn't just come. So it was just a no for me. So it was just like someone was forcing a wife on me that I don't want to marry, and OAU was the person that was forcing the wife on me. And no matter what the wife does, I don't just like her. So I just had to be thinking of alternatives or ways that I can do to get out from the course. And one of the ideas that came to my mind was to rewrite the exam. So I was now planning on quitting my course. So because what's the essence of studying a course you don't like, or maybe what's the essence of committing suicide or being in depression all the time because you are doing a course that doesn't just come natural to you? So I had to quit from the department, like quitting school technically. This was in my 200 level. Remember I told you guys that I got admission in 2018, but in 2020 the lockdown came, and remember I've already registered for JAMB then. I wrote the JAMB again and I scored 324. That was when I crossed my mind that I am no more going back to microbiology. And I didn't really tell my parents that I've already quit school. So when I went back home due to the COVID, it was just like the COVID was keeping me back home. But it wasn't just the COVID. Like in my mind, I know that I'm not going back to that school. But this time around in my JAMB, I now choose to study pharmacy instead of medicine at OAU. And why I came up with this decision was not because I was desperate about entering school, and not just because of the hype on the course, but because, you know, the more you grow older and the more you interact with lots of people, the more your perspective and your experience about life changes, and you start to see the world from different perspectives. So back then, while I was still studying microbiology at OAU, I lived with some medicine graduates and even some medicine students, and I saw their lifestyle and how busy they get, and like idea about medicine really changed. I saw that that was not how I wanted my life to be. I know some of you that are applying for medicine, most of you don't really know about the course, how busy you could get while studying the course, and also the time requirement. Also, the way we see medicine is not really the way it is. I just think one of the reasons that most students go for this particular course, medicine, is because they are less informed about the course. Because if you know the time requirement and the thing it requires, and then the afterlife of the course, you might not really be going again for the course. Yeah, I agree with you, it's a dignified course. Who is saying that it's not a dignified course? But the hype is just much. It's not really what you think. Also, some others are going for the course because they want automatic employment. I don't blame them, because it's almost like an automatic employment. Like, have I really seen medicine students looking for job opportunities? Not really, because you get and you have a place to work immediately after school. So if that is your reason, I don't really blame you, because the unemployment rate in Nigeria is very, very high. Some others like me initially went for the course because we were thinking that we want to make a change in the world. But what we failed to realize is that medicine is not the only course that you can use to make a change in the world. Because there are other paramedical courses and also some specialties in medicine that you can just study as a course. You have like optometry, you have like dentistry, and the rest. You can also study them and use them to make a change. And to make a change in the world, you don't really need to study a medical course. There are other science courses, even microbiology. You can use microbiology to make a change in the world. You don't really need to be a science student to make a change in the world. But if you are going for the course because you want to make money or lots of money, I don't blame you. But if it's just because of the money that you want to study the course, I am sorry to break it to you that you might not buy a Lambo while practicing the course. I would just advise you to go and check out the world top richest men. None of them are medical students, and most of them are engineers. Even check out the top richest men in Nigeria. Whatever the reason that you want to go for the course, no matter how dumb it is, I don't really care. Just go for what you like. And if medicine is what you like, guy, go for it. I also give this advice to the commercial and even the art students. Law is not the only course in the university that you can study as an art student. Go and check out other courses. You can do well in them if you really know what you are doing. But first, you need to ask yourself, is this really what I want to study? Do I really like this course? And don't lie to yourself. Tell yourself the truth. And if your answer is yes, go for the course. Enough of the talk about the career choices you should go for. Remember, I'm still talking about me. So the real and the main reason why I went for pharmacy was because my strength, and I knew my main strength was in chemistry. And also I found out that drug reactions piques my interest. And the number one and the most important reason was because I wasn't willing to work for any company of any individual upon graduation. I know this might sound weird. I am not willing to work for anybody. I don't wish to work for any company, no matter how big the company is. I don't want to work for any company upon graduation. I just want to work for myself. I know this sounds weird because I've really tried to do what or think the way other people think. You know, a normal student, or maybe the way you are thinking now is that I just want to go to school, study a big course, come out, graduate, find a good job, and get paid monthly, or maybe get paid a big amount monthly. I've tried to think this way and it didn't just work for me. So my thinking set was like, I don't want to work for anybody. If I even want to work, let it be for myself. I want to work for myself. I want to work for my own company. Don't just think about it, just forget about it. That's just the way I think. If you are also this kind of person that thinks this way, I don't just see yourself working for a company, just put it in the comment section that you are the type of the person, because nowadays I'm feeling that I am just weird, because I rarely find people, like, I've not really seen people that are saying this kind of thing, that they don't want to work for anybody, but they are in school studying a course, but their mindset is not to work for a company. If you are this kind of person, put it in the comment section. Let me know, my gang. Even if I decide to work, maybe it could be a philanthropic work, or maybe philanthropic work for others, to help others. But when it comes to focusing all my life, I'll wake up in the morning, dress up for work, I've not seen myself that way since I was born. Like, I've never dreamt about that. So since childhood, I've been seeing myself as wed. Very soon, like, I know that everything will come together and make sense, because I don't really see myself working for anybody. Enough of the blabbing. So after I wrote their Post UTME and the results came out, I was at least 90% sure that I was gonna get admission into pharmacy at OAU. So I officially told my parents that I've quit school, that I'm not continuing with my former course. They tried everything they could to force me back. I did not consent to that. Like, I was very stubborn that I did not consent to their advice to continue studying, and they told me how foolish the idea was. Remember, I wrote the exam in 2020, but then in 2021, as we were still waiting for the admission list and their cutoff mark, JAMB 2021 has already started their exams. That means I might not register again if I was not admitted in 2020. So I was now expecting the admission list. So as I was expecting their admission list, a news came out that they are going to be merging 2020 and 2021 seats. That means if they should be giving admission to 2020 seats, they have to divide the number of people that are going to give admission. So that made them to raise the cutoff mark above the roof so that they could accommodate other students that wrote the exam in 2021. That's merging 2020 and 2021 JAMB. So finally, as I waited and prayed, they released the cutoff mark. I was like 0.2 points below the general cutoff, or below the pharmacy cutoff for that year. I felt very devastated about this, and I already knew the consequence of going below their cutoff mark, even if it's just by 0.1 mark. I knew that it's not going to be possible for me again to get admission that year, and that means I've already lost 2021, because I told you guys that they've already written their exams, and also 2020 because I did not get admitted. That means 2 years has just disappeared from my life like that. And the worst of it is that I wasn't even among the catchment areas of that school, so I knew automatically that that year is gone. So by this time in 2021, my mates were already moving to their third year in microbiology. Remember, I've already quit school. I was at home, I was with my parents. You know what it means for you to quit school and you're still staying in your father's house. As a Nigerian guy, is not just here. Like, I went through many emotional traumas, bashing from my parents. The Lord told me how useless I am. Everyone was just against me. Even the church people that I even trusted could give me encouragement. I was now like a stigma to many people. People were avoiding me, students were avoiding me. They were like, they don't want to be like him. At a point, I was used as a role model to the kids in church, but now I am now the person that nobody wants to come around and play with. And the worst of it is that my friends then at college, in the university, most of them saw me as crazy person. So everybody just left me, and if I make mistake to call anyone, like, I'm busy with my lectures and stuff. So that was it. And what really killed my spirit then was that there was this woman in church I respected so much. So she called me and she looked me in the face and told me, "Emmanuel, I am disappointed in you." So I just felt like disappearing. I didn't know who to go to for comfort, because anybody I go to, they tell me how stupid I am, how foolish I am. And my parents were even disappointed in me, like they were ashamed of me. So I was always in depression, I was always on myself. So it was just like the world have left me, like all my plans, everything just went off. And the worst of it is that I now lost my best friend then that was encouraging to me. Like, he died. So my best friend died due to sickness, and it was just like everything about me was going south. Nothing was in my favor, and I was a fervent Christian then, that I was even asking God, like, what did I do? Like, I was a fervent and I was a prayerful person then, but nothing was just coming out. I was just like, God, what did I do? But I used to pray. I used to go and win souls for you. At least consider me and my estate and lift me and give me a better life. I was so ashamed of myself. I didn't even know what to do, because if I consider going back to school, I've already missed like a year already, so I would be in a lower level. But I've already crossed my mind that I'm not going back to that school, and that was what really helped me. And most times when I get visitors that come to visit my parents, and my parents will complain the stuff to them and they are just on me, they will try to tell me how successful people, how other successful students studied the course and they are not doing great. They'll tell me their career paths and all those stuff, and I was just like, it wasn't really getting to me, because no matter how good a course is, provided that I'm not happy studying it, like there's nothing you can say about, like, I can't do it, because it's my life, and eventually I'll be the one to answer for myself. I'll be the one to bear the consequences of my poor choices. So, and what they might see as success might not be the same thing or be the same definition of success to me. And I know very well that if I live my life trying to please others and study what they want me to study, that I live the rest of my life in regret. So I did not even put what they were saying in mind. I was like, I've done it, I've done it. Everyone was ashamed of me. I was like, okay, it's fine, I know I'm a dropout, I agree. But in my mind, I wasn't a dropout. I really wanted to continue with my academics. So in 2022, I took a JAMB form secretly and I wrote the JAMB exam, and I now changed school. Why I changed school was that OAU were not offering PharmD, like Doctor of Pharmacy, but UNN was offering it, University of Nigeria Nsukka. So I had to switch from OAU to UNN, and I scored 319 in the JAMB exam. And I also applied for the Post UTME, and thank God I got admitted into pharmacy. And I told my parents, and now the narratives have changed. They now see me as someone that is very committed to success, and some of my friends, they are now reconnecting back to me, because like I don't really know like what's special about schooling, like what's special about the university, that if you are not in the university, people will not be seeing you as someone that is not serious, someone that is not committed to life. Like I don't get that mindset, because I was still okay. In fact, while I was not even in school, I was committed to, I was doing other self-development stuff. I don't know the hype on university. You don't really need to go to the university to be successful in life. Like, yes, I said it here, you can say anything about it, but why I just had to continue is because I had this passion to continue with my education. And someone would be saying, okay, Emmanuel, you wasted about 5 years looking for admission, running helter skelter, and I'm not like, does it really matter? Like, those years, does it really matter? Because those years that you will be saying in your mind that I wasted, I use it for gaining experience in stuff. I learned tech skills, I learned data analyst skill, and I am a certified person, and there I learned communication skills, and I involved myself in reading self-development books. Like I even read more than 100 development books. Don't worry, very soon I'll be giving you guys tips on the best books you should read before starting school, or even books you should read as an undergraduate. And another thing is that I might not really be here talking to you if my life had gone the way I had planned it. I know that everybody has a way they plan their life. Some of you would say, I want to graduate at 22, some others at 24, some others at 20, I want to graduate. But life is not always the way we plan it. So don't be too harsh on yourself. Take life easy. If it doesn't work out the way you plan it, replan and use your lost years as an experience, and you will be better, trust me. So now, does my lost years really matter? Like, it doesn't really matter now for me. Like, I just see it as a number, like it just went, and I fully utilize those years that you consider lost. Those 5 years you consider lost. I know someone else will now tell me, Emmanuel, or call me Raphael, but your mates have already graduated and some of them are going for their second degrees in medicine. I'm like, but that's my life. Like, I'll decide the way I want to live my life. I don't really have a mate, to be honest. That that we are in the same class doesn't mean that we are in the same class. Yeah, we're not really in the same class, although we are in the same class, but we're not in the same class. I hope you get, like, we have different timing. My time might not be your time, and your time might not be my time. Someone might graduate at the age of 20. I've seen them and they are doing great in life. Some of them get married at 18. Like, check them out, they are doing great, they are millionaires, and I'm nowhere near them. And because of this, I won't live in regret and like living in a life that I wish. Like, I just see it as an experience, and I have to start wherever I am and start building up. I don't know who is watching this video right now, but I want to remind you that you are still the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul, because someone once told me that maybe microbiology is your future. That is what God wants you to study. That is the God's will for you. That's the Lord's will for you. And now I wonder what the person will be saying, because I'm not studying it again. Maybe it's not God's will. Most times God backs up our will and our desires as if it is his own will for us. So he gave us the power to make choices, and that is what makes us unique as humans. So no matter what your choice is, go for it. You are the master of your soul, because whatever decision you make now, in the next 50 years you will be the one to bear the consequences. You'll be the one to bear the brunt, and you might either be in regret, I would have done this, or you could be happy and say to yourself, thank God that I did this. I'll also say again, don't settle for the less. If your strengths are too small for your vision or what you are really passionate about, I think you need to work on your strength to make it to rise to the level of your goals. That was why when I started this channel and started posting videos, people were not really watching, and I believed in my heart, I really believed in my heart that one day someone would just come across my content across the internet and would like my video and subscribe to the channel. And today I'm almost like 1,000 subs up, and some people are finding interest in my videos already. And if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and like the video, because I feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose, and I feel like that's the only metric that I'm using to measure how well I'm doing as a content creator that is also an undergraduate. You know, the stress is not really easy, so make sure that you don't quit and don't give up on your dreams yet. There is no rush in life. Who told you that you should be married at 22? Who told you that by 25 you should have gotten a car? Life is not really the way we planned it. So no matter how life moves you, also try to take control of your life. Try to make active and informed decisions. Don't just start comparing yourself to other people. Remember, you are unique. You just need to crack your code and discover yourself. That is what makes the difference. I didn't believe where I am today. If you are here to write JAMB, or you have someone that is preparing for JAMB, I would advise that you go through this playlist, because I journaled down all my journey there and how you can score high in the JAMB exams and come out as one of the best. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. See you in my next video.